we'll explore the mysterious disappearance of Nikola Tesla's top-secret death ray particle beam.
So I designed and assembled an 80-horsepower alternating current electric motor.
Nikola Tesla was a visionary far ahead of his time, and there's no doubt about that. But some of his creations were so controversial and dangerous that they've been locked away from public knowledge.
Radio-controlled ship in 1898 during the New York Electrical Exhibition. Once I had perfected this technology, I brought about the era of larger, more practical toys.
His ideas were something that humanity wasn't ready for. But in doing so, he also created things that could alter the course of history in ways we can't fully comprehend. What would have happened if he'd actually let those creations go? Let's get in and have a look at Tesla's crazy invention. Number 1. Tesla's Oscillator. A pocket-sized device capable of rattling buildings in New York City has earned the name Tesla's earthquake machine. This device was originally named Tesla's electromechanical oscillator.
This is my replication of the Tesla mechanical oscillator / earthquake machine,
which is basically a steam-powered generator. Tesla designed the oscillator in 1893 to replace bulky steam engines with a sleek, efficient system. Steam drove a piston up and down, vibrating at incredibly high speeds to generate electricity. But those vibrations weren't limited to the device. In 1898, Tesla allegedly tested a small version of his oscillator in his lab. He claimed it matched the resonance frequency of his building, which caused nearby structures to tremble. On realizing the danger, Tesla reportedly smashed the device with a sledgehammer just as the police arrived. Tesla later declared that his machine could destroy skyscrapers, such as the Empire State Building, with just 5 pounds of air pressure. But the claims still remain unverified. Was Tesla's oscillator truly an earthquake machine or not? It did shake the buildings. What else could it do? Number 2. Tesla's radio-controlled boat. In 1898, Nikola Tesla stood before a crowd at Madison Square Garden. He was about to unveil a boat controlled from a distance, without wires or visible connection.
My research and experiments made it possible to control a warship remotely from the shore at a distance of 25 nautical miles.
At a time when most people didn't even know radio waves existed, Tesla's demonstration was nothing short of magical. The crowd gathered around an indoor pool, staring at the small, 4-foot-long steel boat floating on the water. Tesla called it the teleautomaton. The boat had 3 antennas, an electric motor, and a mysterious receiver inside that responded to signals sent from Tesla's control box. With a flare, Tesla declared the boat operated by magic and began shouting commands, making it turn, stop, and flash its lights. Some spectators were convinced there was a tiny monkey hidden inside. Others speculated Tesla had supernatural powers. To prove them wrong, he revealed his control box, a device that used levers to send radio waves to the boat. When someone shouted, "What's the cube root of 64?" the antennas flashed 4 times and left the audience stunned. The people must have been in complete shock at what they had seen. What would be your reaction if you were there? Number 3. Tesla Coil. Something like arcs of electricity, like bolts of lightning that shoot into the air and light up objects, and even people nearby, would seem super fun, right? Well, this is the Tesla coil we are talking about. It was created in 1891 and is one of Nikola Tesla's most electrifying inventions, literally. It takes ordinary electricity, boosts its voltage to over 1,000,000 volts, and makes it leap through the air without any wires or contact. If we talk about how it works, you will see 2 parts inside the coil: the primary and secondary coils that move in harmony. The primary coil generates a magnetic field that transfers energy to the secondary coil, creating an electric charge so powerful it can ignite fluorescent bulbs from a distance or send lightning-like arcs through the air. And the shocking part is that this high-voltage product is surprisingly safe to touch. The high frequency of the current makes it pass over the skin rather than through it. You might even hold a light bulb and watch it glow just from the energy in the air. That's some crazy invention, Tesla. Number 4. Induction Motor. In 1888, Tesla forever changed how the world operates with his induction motor, powered by a rotating magnetic field. Unlike previous motors, this one had no need for commutators or brushes. It was sleek, efficient, and built for the future. Tesla's vision wasn't just limited to mechanics. He dreamed of a world where electricity could travel vast distances, powering industries, homes, and lives. He sold his invention to George Westinghouse, and together, they spearheaded the AC revolution. Tesla's motor made it possible to transmit electricity economically over long distances, something direct current could never achieve. This paved the way for electrifying cities and industries, from the first hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls to the appliances in your home today. In 1892, during a lecture in London, he gifted one of his original induction motors to Professor Ayrton. Today, almost everything we see around us is a reflection of his invention, from your refrigerator to factories worldwide. It's hailed as one of the greatest inventions of all time. Number 5. Radio. Tesla didn't just change the world with the light bulb or alternating current. He set the stage for wireless communication. In the late 1800s, Tesla was already experimenting with sending signals through the air.
Radio signals are just another frequency that needs a transmitter and receiver, which Tesla also demonstrated in 1893.
He invented the Tesla Coil, a device that became key to transmitting radio wave. In 1893, he publicly showed the possibility of wireless communication by transmitting power through the air. Before anyone could think of streaming music, Tesla was already working on sending signals wirelessly, years before the radio was born. While Guglielmo Marconi also worked on radio technology, it was Tesla's invention of the coil that Marconi later used for his own work. In fact, Tesla's influence was so strong that the US Patent Office, many years later, even acknowledged his key role. Tesla was laying the groundwork for radio, yet Marconi's commercial success overshadowed his name. Tesla filed patents related to wireless transmission, such as US Patent Number 64576 in 1900. This patent described the use of resonant circuits and electromagnetic waves for long-distance communication. His experiments proved that it was possible to send signals across distances without wires. Though Tesla's work was groundbreaking, financial challenges and the destruction of his lab in 1895 slowed his progress. Marconi's commercial success came after using Tesla's principles. Eventually, the US Patent Office recognized that Marconi had relied on Tesla's technology when it awarded him the patent in 1904. However, in 1943, just after Tesla's death, the US Supreme Court reinstated Tesla's patent. Number 6. Tesla valve. The Tesla valve is a creation of the legendary Nikola Tesla that he patented in 1920. This valve has a fixed geometry that allows fluid to flow freely in one direction, while resisting flow in the other. But how is that possible? Inside the valve, there are enlargements, baffles, and projections that create pathways that seem to open the door for forward flow, but slam it shut for reverse flow. The result is a simple device with diodicity, a high resistance to reverse flow compared to forward flow. And its applications are mind-blowing. From microfluidic devices to cooling systems and modern smartphones, the Tesla valve is everywhere. Even pulse jet engines rely on their durability. Number 7. Tesla's egg of Columbus. Using the power of alternating current, Tesla made a copper egg stand on its tip and spin. Yes, no glue, no hidden string, just the force of a rotating magnetic field. And when we talk about its design, it's ingeniously simple, yet profound. It was showcased at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Nikola Tesla developed the egg of Columbus for the 1893 Chicago World's Fair to illustrate how alternating current electric motors work.
As part of Westinghouse Electric's exhibit, where Tesla's inventions were front and center in the Electricity Building. The device was inspired by the apocryphal story of Christopher Columbus making an egg stand on one end. Tesla's version took the concept further, using science instead of brute force. It's based on a flat wooden platform, a toroidal iron core beneath, and 4 electromagnetic coils powered by 2-phase alternating current. This results in a spinning egg that is perfectly balanced and demonstrates gyroscopic action. The egg of Columbus is truly an elegant way to explain the rotating magnetic field that powered Tesla's groundbreaking AC induction motors. The exhibit also featured spinning copper balls and discs that captivate audiences with its cosmic, planet-like motion. Number 8. Rotating magnetic field. In 1882, Nikola Tesla found himself at a breaking point. At 26 years old, he had been consumed for months with solving the problem of generating electricity through rotating magnetic field. He was walking with his friend Anthony Ziegede, trying to shake off months of frustration. The stress took a toll that left him mentally and physically exhausted. Tesla began reciting verses from Goethe's Faust, one of his favorite works. And then, it happened. As he uttered the poetic lines, a flash of insight struck him like lightning. In his mind, he saw it. A rotor spinning in a magnetic field, driven by 2 alternating currents working in perfect harmony, but out of phase. Tesla stopped in his tracks, grabbed a stick, and sketched his vision in the sand. At that moment, one of the greatest discoveries of all time was born: the rotating magnetic field. It became the heart of Tesla's induction motor, the foundation of alternating current technology, and the key to modern electrical systems that power our lives today. The interesting thing is that the principles of his discovery are still used in MRI machine, measuring their strength in Tesla units. Number 9. TeGeodynamics. Nikola Tesla coined the term TeGeodynamic to describe his concept of a system of transmitting and receiving mechanical energy or power over long distances through the Earth. The idea was first presented around the early 20th century. This was after Tesla had gained recognition for his work on alternating current and wireless communication. Tesla's primary goal with TeGeodynamics was to demonstrate that mechanical energy, such as vibration or oscillation, could be transmitted through the Earth. Tesla theorized that the Earth itself could act as a medium to carry electrical or mechanical vibrations, and that large-scale power systems could be built to send energy across vast distances without the need for wires. It was rooted in his broader belief that wireless power was not just a theoretical possibility, but an achievable technological breakthrough. The idea of TeGeodynamics emerged from Tesla's experiments with resonance and electromagnetic waves, which had already led to his development of the Tesla Coil and his famous work on wireless communication. He believed that by creating a network of oscillating energy sources, he could use the Earth's natural resonant frequencies to transmit energy. He envisioned large power plants and transmission towers that would send electrical energy across long distances. Tesla thought that this could potentially lead to a future where free wireless energy would be available to the world. Number 10. Tesla Turbine. The Tesla turbine was invented by Nikola Tesla in 1913. It is a bladeless centripetal flow turbine that operates using smooth discs. Instead of traditional blades, it uses the boundary layer effect, where fluid adheres to disc surfaces through viscosity and momentum exchange. A working fluid, such as steam or gas, is directed onto the edges of the discs through nozzles. The fluid spirals inward and transfers energy to the discs, which are stacked like CDs on a central axle. Tesla's design ensures fluid movement follows natural paths with minimal turbulence. Unlike conventional turbines that depend on blades for energy transfer, the Tesla turbine's discs experience drag from the fluid, resulting in rotational motion. This bladeless nature reduces mechanical wear and makes the turbine more robust and easier to manufacture. One of Tesla's ambitions was to use the turbine for geothermal energy production, as detailed in his work, Our Future Motive Power. He claimed efficiencies as high as 95%, although practical tests have yielded results around 60 or 70%. The turbine excels in low flow rate and small-scale applications, but struggles with shear losses and flow restrictions at higher loads. Despite its potential, material limitations of Tesla's era led to issues like disk warping at high speeds and temperatures. I wonder what he'd done if he were born in this era. Number 11. Three-phase electric power. What if I told you that the electricity we use today almost looked totally different? Back in the 1880s, there was fierce competition between two inventors over how to power the world. That's when Nikola Tesla stepped in, with a motor powered by two-phase AC. Westinghouse bought Tesla's patents for a whopping $170,000, but there was a catch. Tesla's motor wasn't compatible with Westinghouse's system due to a frequency mismatch. So, despite the investment, it wasn't working for industrial use. Meanwhile, over in Germany, a young engineer named Mikhail Dobrovolsky had a game-changing idea. Instead of using two-phase electricity, he realized that three-phase electricity was the way to go. In 1891, Dobrovolsky proved his system's power by transmitting three-phase electricity over 175 kilometers from a waterfall in Laufen, Germany to Frankfurt. It was a massive success and showed the world that three-phase electricity was the future. Around this time, Tesla was making headlines with his Tesla Coil, a device that could wirelessly light bulbs. People were so impressed that they mistakenly credited him with inventing the three-phase system, even though it was Dobrovolsky who actually created it. So yes, Tesla might have been a genius, but credit where it's due. Dobrovolsky was the real game changer. Number 12. Violet ray. It's the 1890s, and Tesla is doing his thing at the World's Fair with a device that could revive you back to health. Yep, it's the violet ray, and it was a huge deal back then. But how did violet rays actually work? The violet ray was made up of a control box, nothing fancy, but it wasn't grounded. This box housed the interrupter and the magneto coil. It had a handle made of bakelite or another sturdy material. Inside the handle was a high voltage coil, and you could attach different glass tubes to it. These tubes were shaped in all kinds of ways to treat different parts of your body with electric current. People believed the violet ray could cure all sorts of things, from back pain to skin issues like carbuncle.
If the high voltage is capacitively coupled through the glass, it can significantly warm your skin, causing vasodilation and increased blood flow.
Violet ray generators were modified from Tesla's equipment by Jacques-Arsène d'Arsonval and Paul-Marie Houdin to make them safer for human use. That must have been a fun, therapeutic device to use. What say? Number 13, neon light. You have probably seen neon signs everywhere, but did you know Tesla helped bring them to life? Well, Tesla didn't actually invent neon lights, but he definitely had a huge hand in shaping them into what we see today. He figured out how to use neon gas, bending and shaping it into cool words and design.
After we've bent various components, we have to go in using the crossfire or the hand torch and actually weld all of those pieces together.
When he first showed off his neon signs at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, people went wild. Fast forward to today, and neon signs are everywhere, lighting up cities, bars, and clubs. And that's how Tesla made the world a little brighter. Number 14, Telforce. We all know Tesla was ahead of his time, but this concept, it's next level. So, what is Telforce? Well, Tesla came up with the idea of a death ray, or as he called it, a directed energy weapon, back in the 1930s. This wasn't just your average laser pointer, it was a beam of energy powerful enough to destroy enemy aircraft, missiles, or even entire armies from miles away. Yes, you heard that right. Tesla described it as a super concentrated beam of energy that could be shot over long distances, and he imagined it as a defense system strong enough to protect entire nations. But while Tesla talked about it a lot, there's no solid proof that he ever actually built or tested the Telforce weapon.
The FBI searched his papers and effects and found no trace of the plans.
It was more of a theoretical idea than something that actually made it off the drawing board. But who knows, maybe one day someone will bring Tesla's vision to life. Number 15, World Wireless System. What if you could just jolt electricity through the air with no cords or plug? That's exactly what Tesla was dreaming up back in the 1800s. In the late 1800s, Nikola Tesla had this wild idea for a system that could send both power and communication signals without any wires. He believed the Earth and its atmosphere could actually carry electrical energy, and he thought this system could work all around the world. His vision, wireless power transmission, and sending messages over crazy long distances, like across the Atlantic to England or even to ships at sea. By 1900, Tesla got a big-time investor, J.P. Morgan, to fund his wireless station, which eventually got built at Wardenclyffe. Tesla first wanted to use the station for communication, but then he shifted gears and aimed to send power wirelessly to compete with Guglielmo Marconi's new radio-based system. But Morgan wasn't having it and pulled the plug on the funding. So the project was abandoned in 1906 and never really worked out. While all this was happening, Tesla filed a bunch of patents for his ideas. Things like how to send power, how to signal, and how to tune circuits. He even dreamed of building around 30 more stations like Wardenclyffe around the world to hook up to existing telephone and telegraph lines. Tesla talked a lot about how his wireless system could change the world, but there's no solid proof that he ever sent power over long distances. These days, most scientists think his idea probably wouldn't have worked the way he envisioned it. Well, who knows? Maybe someday someone will finally figure out wireless power. But it wasn't Tesla's time. Number 16, Tesla drone. Before drones became the high-tech weapons they are today, one guy was dreaming of them ending wars instead, a classic Tesla. He thought that if wars were fought with robots instead of people, the potential for destruction might stop wars altogether. It was an idealistic vision, but the military wasn't interested. His patent eventually expired, and his drone idea faded into history, at least for a while. The first drones used in combat didn't even have remote controls. During World War I, the US created the Kettering Bug, which was like an early version of a kamikaze drone. It was a small plane packed with explosives that followed a preset course to crash into its target. Cool concept, but it didn't have the remote control tech Tesla had shown off decades earlier. Fast forward to World War II, and the US Army tried something next level with Operation Aphrodite. They converted B-24 bombers into massive flying bombs, loading them with explosives and adding radio controls. Here's how it worked. 2 pilots would fly the bomber to 10,000 feet, then bail out. From there, another crew in a separate plane would take over, controlling the bomb remotely to guide it to its target. But it was a total disaster. The plan failed and some bombs malfunctioned, even causing damage in England instead of hitting Germany. Tragically, some pilots didn't survive, including Joseph Kennedy, the older brother of future President John F. Kennedy. So, while Tesla's dream of drones bringing peace didn't quite pan out, his invention laid the groundwork for modern drone technology. Today, drones are a huge part of warfare, but they haven't stopped wars like he'd hoped. Maybe one day, though. Tesla was a dreamer after all. Number 17, Tesla's electric car. I mean, Tesla had some wild ideas, but this one, it's basically a preview of today's electric car revolution. Yes, before Elon Musk's Tesla Motors, Nikola Tesla was already dreaming up an electric car powered by his game-changing battery technology. In 1931, Tesla reportedly modified a Pierce Arrow car in Buffalo, New York. He replaced the gasoline engine with a brushless AC electric motor. The motor was powered by a cosmic energy power receiver, a mysterious device housed in a box with 12 vacuum tubes and connected to a 6-foot antenna. Supposedly, the car reached speeds up to 90 mph and ran for 8 days.
Electric motor functioned flawlessly for an entire week without an additional power source.
But unfortunately, he ran into some serious struggles with funding, so the car never became a reality. Some theorists speculate the car could have worked using reactive power recycling, though this idea lacks evidence. No contemporaneous documentation supports this claim, and this story has no physical evidence to back it up. If he actually did, it's crazy how Tesla was so ahead of his time. Imagine what he could have done with the technology we have now. Number 18, artificial tidal waves. If you thought Tesla's inventions were cool, wait until you hear about his plan to use tidal waves to stop wars. But that was Tesla's thinking. He always had these out-of-the-box solutions for big problems. While his plan was never actually put into motion, it shows how Tesla saw science as a way to promote peace on a global scale. But how did it work? Tesla wanted to use wireless telegraphy. Yep, the same tech he used for wireless communication, to set off explosives under the sea, creating massive tidal waves. The idea was that these waves would act as a kind of natural defense, wiping out enemy fleets and preventing wars. Of course, this idea was never tested, but it really shows how Tesla's mind worked. He was always thinking ahead, trying to use technology for something bigger than just progress. He wanted to use it for peace. Now, that's some next-level thinking. Number 19, Supersonic Airship. Long before airplanes were even a thing, Tesla imagined an aircraft that would fly on electricity instead of using old-school propellers. Tesla's idea was all about using electric propulsion. This would let the aircraft hover, take off vertically, and fly long distances without needing a runway. Now, even though Tesla never actually built this machine, his ideas set the stage for what we are seeing today in electric aviation. Fast forward to now, and electric propulsion is a real thing, being explored for drones, personal aircraft, and even passenger planes. It's all about cutting down emissions and reducing noise pollution. Companies like Tesla Motors are also trying to make electric propulsion work and looking into new transportation modes like VTOL vehicles. While Tesla's dream of electric flying machines never took off in his lifetime, we are closer than ever to making it a reality. Electric aircraft could completely change the way we travel, especially in crowded cities where space for traditional airports is limited. Tesla's dreams might not have taken flight, but ours are definitely ready to soar. Number 20, shadow graphs, X-ray technology. X-rays are like the ultimate cheat code for doctors, and what is the story behind them? Totally worth geeking out over. So X-rays are supercharged light, part of the electromagnetic spectrum, but way more powerful. Their high energy allows them to pass through objects, including the human body, which is why they've revolutionized medical imaging. Now, while Wilhelm Röntgen is the name you often hear when it comes to the discovery of X-rays in 1895, Nikola Tesla was experimenting with high-energy electromagnetic radiation around the same time. Tesla's work didn't just stop at the lab, it helped pave the way for practical applications of X-rays in medicine.
We could take X-rays with our flash unit in just a few milliseconds, making the contours of the heart visible for the very first time.
Before this groundbreaking technology, diagnosing internal problems was mostly guesswork, relying on physical exams and external symptoms. But X-rays changed the game. Suddenly, doctors could see fractures, tumors, and other internal issues with incredible clarity. So, how does an X-ray machine work? At the heart of it is the X-ray tube, a vacuum-sealed cylinder containing two main parts, the cathode and the anode. When the machine is turned on, the cathode heats up and releases electrons. These electrons accelerate toward the anode, and when they collide, X-rays are produced. These X-rays pass through the body and create detailed images on a detector or film. And that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive all our future videos on time. Until next time.